You piped that the wrong way.
I'll call the clubhouse. We'll book another 18 for tomorrow.
Okay, they cheated on that. They fluffed their balls.
Yeah, no better time for the breakfast ball than now. All right, Tyler. It is almost a new year. It's almost 2023.
Merry Christmas, by the way.
Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan year coming up.
Big year for stellar athletes.
You know, I was just thinking about the other day. I was actually thinking about this last night. I was at a bar restaurant having a beer, and I'm like, God, the first time I'm going to be able to have a legal beer with my son is going to be in 2043.
Jeez.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
I think I'll be, 21 years from now, I will be 49.
And we'll still be doing this podcast, giggling at dumb golf shit.
Dumb shit. I mean, imagine the ideas we're going to have come 2032.
I mean, we'll have space golf by then.
Well, I was just going to say our simulator golf will be on a whole other level. It'll just be like you put on like the VR Neuralink.
They could all just be
and then
VR.
you'll just be, you won't even be VR. It'll just be reality.
You just basically hit the shot in your head.
Yeah. You ever watch, it'll be like
Jake.
Black Mirror. Like when they,
Never seen it. Wow. But I have heard about it.
Now you have no excuse for saying, damn, I hit that shot way better in my head. Because you did. You have no excuse
Yeah,
now.
that's
no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, this next year is going to be a big year, Tyler. I can't wait until March, April, May when the anticipation is hitting us even harder.
Mm-hmm.
And snow's melting, weather's getting nicer. It's going to be a good year for us.
It's hitting me pretty hard already. I got a bunch of golf shit for Christmas.
Did you?
Jeepin' Dave copped out for a new bag.
He got you a new bag, but he didn't get you a new set of Wedgewoods?
No, he didn't. He did push them again, though.
Yeah, he keeps sending me the...
And now
Sorry, go ahead.
he got your email.
Yep.
And now he is emailing you, which is
I've been emailing Grandpa Dave.
It's partially my fault that he got your email, but he did do the detective work on his own.
Me out.
And we will not be saying our emails on this podcast, but Grandpa figured it out.
What was I going to say on top of that? The Wedgwood. Okay. He's also been sending me, what platform does his email come from?
Yahoo. No, it's Arvig.
Arvig, yeah.
It's like a local internet company.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really thrown off by that. And then he sent it from his Android. So sending it from his Android from an Arvig email account, I thought it was spam.
Big
right
time
away.
scam vibes.
Yeah.
So I opened it though, and here's a $300 coupon off the Hammerhead driver.
Really? You said you had $300 off?
I shit you not, I was about to buy it. I clicked on the link, broken.
Oh,
So the deal must have been over.
Grandpa.
Deal must have been over. That's why the link was broken.
Must have been on a forum from 2004 looking for that driver
Yeah.
deal.
No, dude, the hammer's still rocking.
Oh, really?
It's only infomercials. So.
Okay.
I am very intrigued by the Hammer driver though.
We'll do a video on it one day.
Yeah. We just got tracked on that phone number, that 1-800 number to
I
get you
know.
on.
1-800 Hammer.
Thanks, Tyler.
We also have a Mediscus. Is that what it's called?
Medicus.
Medicus.
Huh?
We also have a Medicus driver, I believe, on the way from fan of the page.
Yeah, we did a little merch club swap situation, and it's the club that has like the joint in the middle.
You ever heard it? You ever
the-
seen the leg
the-
shot club?
Yeah, the one that helps with your tempo. That
Yeah.
Yep. That thing is going to be sick. And if I start hitting good enough with it, it's going to end up right in my bag, right in the driver's slot.
I wonder if it's even legal.
Well, as we talked about with the water bottle rule and that being illegal, we can make anything legal that we want.
Yeah, and then we should do another like pickup sticks match, and I'll take all your clubs but that driver, so you're just hitting
Sure.
that out of the fairway.
Imagine trying to hit like a bump and run with the Mediscus, the medicinal driver. It's the only medicine to hit straighter drives.
That's not true.
That's a pretty good slogan, though.
Thank you.
I like that.
Right
I
off
like
the top
that.
of the dome right there.
We're energized. I'm not even sleepy at all.
Did you have a good Christmas?
I did have a good Christmas, Ryan. Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah. Well, I mean, elaborate though. Like, what did
I
you
got
get?
one super cool gift that I'm gonna have to tell you about because I refuse to bring it to the office.
You're not bringing that in?
Nope,
Really?
I will not bring it in. My uncle got me a flag from. It's not from the actual 18th hole, I don't believe, because then I know Uncle dropped.
It's
the
not
fucking
the
bag.
flag.
Not the actual flag from the 18th hole, but it is an 18th hole flag from the Open in 1995, which John Daly won, signed by John Daly.
No way.
It's really fucking cool.
Officially commemorative.
Yep.
Though?
I went into the Beckett thing and looked at the number that was on the flag, and it is all legit. So it
How
was
much? How much is it worth?
Doesn't say.
Really?
It just tells you if it's authentic, when it was authenticated, and where.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yep.
But it's by Beckett too, so that's legit AF.
Who's selling that thing? I mean, what would you want to hang on
so
to
it got signed in this last year in April.
Okay.
So it got signed in April of 2022. So what I'm assuming happened is somebody got this flag like handed down from grandpa or something that was at the Open, and then went to a John Daly signing, got it signed by John Daly, and then sold it.
We need to start bringing our flags to tournaments, get them signed.
That's not a bad
We got
idea.
Ryder Cup flag. We got our Waste Management flag. We also have PGA Tour
You guys are
Canada.
gonna say you're just gonna start signing flags and handing them out.
Yeah, we'll start.
We should have an 18th hole breakfast ball flag, though.
We should.
That's what we should have.
Somebody knows a good custom flag maker. Let us know.
We have an embroidery machine downstairs.
Well, that and I
Cool. Give me their number.
I can find those in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be sweet. Yeah, I also had a good Christmas. A lot of running around, but overall it went well.
Did you get anything golf wise for Christmas?
I got some podcast decor.
Nice.
For a studio.
Oh, you did. I saw them. They're very cool.
But we don't really have a studio anymore because we're nomads.
Yeah.
Except
And,
for the one we're recording in a studio right now. This isn't permanent.
No, this is just makeshift studio we did for the interview that we have coming up next. But when we hop in a new studio, eventually we'll throw them up, and it'll be a good little knickknack to throw on the shelf.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Tyler, New Year upon us. It's been a big year in golf. We've had, I would say, the biggest headline in golf has been Live Golf.
Yes, without a doubt.
Getting that off the ground, the players defecting over to Live. Now we got the Masters tournament allowing Live golfers to play if they qualify. I just see for Christmas, Kevin Na, Bryson DeChambeau, and Patrick Reed all got their Masters invitations for this next year.
Yep.
So who knows? I'm sure there'll be plenty more that are going to be there. So it's going to make for a very interesting Masters week.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Do you think there's going to be any like contentious moments during the Masters?
100%.
Or is it such a prestigious tournament that they're going to keep it cordial?
No, I would say there'll be some. But for me, though, it's like, the Masters dinner, the winner from the year before gets to pick, like, he kind of like hosts the dinner in a sense.
Yeah.
So Scotty Scheffler, I don't know what he's going to have on the menu, but he's going to.
Scotty's white as shit. They're getting chicken fingers.
Probably. Yeah. But he's going to have to be, he's going to be serving to some guys he doesn't like, probably.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
Well, like
the banquets and
who's all invited to this dinner? Is it only the players? Is it former winners?
That's a good question. I would assume it's.
I would love.
Assume it's everybody.
I would love to get Tiger Woods in the room with some of the people he has specifically talked shit about this year.
Yeah,
because Greg Norman's not going. There's no way Greg's going. But that's who the two people I want in a room.
Well, and Greg's never won the Masters. If you haven't seen, is it 30 for 30?
I got it right here, actually.
Nope.
Who's invited?
Greg's never. Hey, one sec, Jake.
Yep.
Greg has never won the Masters. He's gotten second place like 3 times.
Oh.
Have you ever seen the 30 for 30 called The Shark?
Mm-mm.
It's on Greg Norman, and it basically outlines how fucking good of a golfer he was, but how he came up short at the Masters a handful of times.
Damn.
And there was times where, and I'll let you watch it, but there was times he would be like way in the lead and then he'd choke on the last day.
Fuck.
So go watch the 30 for 30 called The Shark on Greg Norman. It's a really good, well put together documentary. And what do you got for us, Jake?
Actually, if you've won the Masters, you're invited to the dinner no matter what, which is actually just how the Masters is too. If you've won the Masters, you have a lifelong invitation.
Yep.
If I'm not incorrect.
Yep.
So yeah, last year's winner hosts it, and also it says explicitly they pay for it too. So Scotty's got a fucking big bill. Maybe he should go with the chicken fingers.
I think that the purse you get for winning the Masters will probably cover the dinner.
Yeah,
Well, that and being the number one golfer in the world and all the indoor.
He's not anymore, is he? I think Rory is.
Or sorry, Rory is, but being number one in the world for a handful of months.
Yeah.
He's not going to have an issue, but he's going to be paying for the dinner of the live golfers.
It's not expensive at all when you just air fry a bunch of chicken tenders.
If anything, something good for Greg Norman to do is to pick up the tab.
Yeah.
A little goodwill.
Little goodwill from G Norm.
I would
Why not
take
pick
that.
the tab up?
I would take that as a hey, Look at how much money we're making over here at the Live. I got you.
That's what I'm saying. He's got hundreds of millions.
I
on
don't
him.
think that's goodwill. I think that's a fuck you flex.
I actually.
But what does Greg Norman want to do more than flex on the PGA?
What were you saying, Jake?
I actually have what they served for over the last couple of years on this website too. So Dustin Johnson, when he won it, he served pigs in a blanket. That's literally.
It's actually not a
who
bad
was it?
option.
Somebody just did like plain ass chicken breast or something.
I don't know. Spieth here, authentic Texas barbecue.
What did Matsuyama? What did he serve?
Bubba Watson. Grilled chicken breast, green beans, mashed potatoes, and corn.
Okay, so this
God,
isn't
Bubba.
like 4-ounce Wagyu steak with
it's
raspberry drizzle, blah blah blah.
It's literally
nothing like that.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I like
it
that.
is whatever you want. Tiger likes serving porterhouse steak and sushi. He's
There's
done-
Tiger. I just saw one. Tiger Woods cheeseburgers
Oh yeah,
down at the bottom.
cheeseburgers when he won it in '98. There's a bunch of random shit in here.
Imagine if Greg Norman picked up the tab, got to pick what they ate, and he served shark.
that would be
sick.
That's a huge kick in the nuts. But what it sounds like is Augusta they're on board. They're not holding out on these golfers like the
Well-
PGA would. You
Well,
know?
the only reason the head of the chairman of Augusta or whatever, it's like said he's not happy about it. Like we have no choice but to invite them. They've
Okay.
qualified,
Okay, fair.
and he said that anyone the problem is next year. Like the only people that are going to be invited from here on out are former winners because their Live Golf has not qualified for world golf rankings.
The only people invited are going to be
From
former
like
winners
yeah, the people that
from
have
Live Golf.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so nobody from Live is going to be able to make it, except for the ones that have already won the Masters.
Wow. So like this year is
Interesting.
Bryson's year to like really go for it and make sure that he gets the invitation coming back because next year he couldn't be invited again
Correct.
unless he wins this year.
DJ?
Unless they allow the Live to be part of the world golf rankings.
Interesting.
DJ will come back.
Yep.
Yep.
He's
who else?
invited
Anyone?
forever because he's won it. Patrick Reed's won it, correct?
Yep. Has Kevin Na won it? That's why he got his Christmas
must have.
card.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just seeing a couple of these. Nothing's sticking out to me right now.
Sergio
Big
Garcia?
Live names. Yep, Sergio Garcia 2018. Is he on the Live?
Yep, he is. Yep, he is. Interesting. It's been a while. It's kind of
Charles Schwartzel.
Schwartzel. Yep. I don't think he's in the Live, but
I think he is.
is he?
You're going to check if Schwartzel's in the Live? Pretty positive he is. But I'm also
I want to
don't
say
know
he's
shit.
one of the guys who's very outspoken. Charles Schwartzel.
He is.
He is, Kevin.
He is on the Live.
Schwartzel is on the Live. Regardless, it's been a wild year in the world of golf. It's good though. We need this type of stuff to shake things up. Now, on top of Live Golf, we've obviously had another what has taken the internet by storm. Good golf. They had a couple
Mhm.
members leave here in the past couple months, which, whatever that may be, they're out. They're doing their own thing. It's great for them. And we have the opportunity next to talk with Grant Horvat.
Yes. We did that last week. Obviously, you'll see in a second. I no longer have a beard. There has been a time jump.
Yeah, a little bit.
So we are recording the intro now a week later, and we've let the interview stew for a little bit. We'll just give people a little teaser, a little taste on what you think the interview, how they're going to feel about the interview, Ryan.
We'll just say that we've been able to settle a couple debates. We've learned a little bit about ourselves as golfers, and we've also learned how long it actually takes to develop some good muscle memory on how to repeat your swing
That we're
from
close,
one
guys.
to the next. It was a very informational podcast. Grant's a great dude. He definitely knows, when it comes to golf, he knows his shit,
Mhm.
if you will.
Yeah, there was the shit in this interview that he was saying, and I was just nodding, and I didn't understand a single word he said. All of the stuff, and even with the context, I'm like, I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so any of these questions that are brought about, Jake's going to read the questions. Just watch Tyler's face on the video. Because based off of how he reacts, you'll know whether or not he knows what's going on.
Yeah, a lot of side eyes to Jake. I'm like, are you picking up what he's putting down? Because I'm not.
Never heard of spin rate before. What the fuck is that?
I've heard of that, but like,
No, it was good. We had a lot of fun with Grant. So Tyler, let's just get into the interview.
let's do it. Here he is.
Grant Horvat, everybody. All right, guys, welcome to a very special interview for us. Probably, obviously, one of the biggest guests that we've had so far. We put it out on the IG story last week that the man, the myth, Grant Horvat is joining the podcast today. And we decided we're going to do a Q&A because you guys always throw some great questions at us. We never really know what we're going to get, Tyler.
No, the best part is we have Grant on, very serious, talented golfer. The questions that we usually get when we put out Q&A for us two, you have classified our listeners because we usually just get degenerate questions, and now we got like real questions about actual golf,
which is kind of refreshing in a sense because, to kind of just give you a little background on us, Grant, like I would say I'm like a low double-digit handicap. Tyler's a high double-digit handicap, and we're just like we're the type of guys that like to get out, and it's a relaxation round for us. That's why we love the game of golf.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think everyone's at a different spot in their golf career, and a lot of people are getting into golf, so it's no big deal if you're not shooting under par or towards a scratch right now. You have plenty of time. You can play it your whole life.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of golf.
Yeah. So from your perspective, like when you've been golfing your whole life, correct?
It's funny because I actually got into golf when I was like 14. I was playing basketball until I was like 13, 14. And right after that, I got into golf, and that's just because my dad was a pro.
Yep.
And he was always giving lessons, and I just never liked golf at all. I thought it was boring until I hit like 14 and I was playing basketball and I like couldn't get a rebound and was getting destroyed. So, I knew at that time golf was for me.
Hey, Grant, how old are you now?
I'm 24.
Okay. So you've been golfing, you've had a passion for the game for 10 years now. I think I'm like year 4.
Years.
So like I got a good 6 years left before I can get to the next level.
Yeah. So you're saying like in 6
There's
years
time.
we'll be as good as you now, right?
Well, it depends. There was a lot of work put in for a couple of years straight, beating balls on the range every day in Florida. Like a lot. I remember, a couple summers where it was just like all summer, giant baskets of balls every day, 5 to 6 hours practicing, and just working on like mechanics and putting and everything. So
what is it with someone at your skill level compared to us? Because we go out there for the good times. Like, I don't care what I shoot. I do, competitive inside of me. I want to shoot well, shoot good scores. But at the end of the day, as long as it was fun, I had a good time. What do you get out of, like, what is the thing for you to finish around and be like, God, I had fun today?
Yeah, I mean, that's golf. I have to say, like, out of all the rounds I've played, I cannot remember too many rounds where I was like, wow, that felt great. Like, I played really good today, and I didn't leave many shots out there. And that's just crazy to like think about, but I rarely ever had a day like that. I miss, so many good birdie looks, and then I'm looking back at that like, oh dang, I missed this shot here. And you can always look back at it obviously and pick it apart. But
yeah,
in my life, I can only remember like, 5 to 10 rounds where I walked off and I was feeling like, wow, I just played great today. Like, and I made a lot of great like putts and everything.
Yeah. When did you start to hit that stride? Like, obviously starting at 14, when did you hit the stride of like, okay, well, a lot of these holes I can play for birdie, the course management is a lot better in your mind, where kind of you started to figure things out a little bit. Like, what age was that at?
Yeah. So 2016, I remember I was playing on the South Florida Junior Tour, and that was a year where I never shot around in the 80s on that tour.
Ooh. So
that was like the first year where I was very consistent. I think I shot a 68 also and like a 69. Those were the first times I shot in the 60s. So it was 2016, and I just remember I finished 5th on the point standings for the South Florida Junior Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And that felt like a year that I kind of broke through, and I was very consistent, and I knew the whole time that I didn't have a round in the 80s, and I felt pressure. I felt everything that you could feel. And I would say that was like the year where I felt a little bit of a breakthrough.
Now, you had mentioned that you were a basketball player before you started golf. Were you like, were you a multi-sport athlete in like grade school, high school? Was it just basketball and golf for you, or what? Like, did you play any other sports?
No, it's funny because like people see me now, I look like I can't even do anything. I'm like the most unathletic person. No, when I was a kid, like there's videos of me like playing basketball, and I actually on my one team, I was our point guard, and there's videos of me, I was probably like 10, 11, 12. Yeah. But like I was running up the court, you know, making moves. Like I actually looked like an athlete running. And then I once I got into golf and I just stuck to golf, you know, you lose it all. You're not doing truly athletic movements.
Yeah.
And when I was working really hard on athletic movements and working, you know, we had a really intense coach when I was in middle school actually, and in high school. He was super intense, and we were running all the time doing drills. That's when I was like the most, I feel like, athletic. And then I kind of just stuck to golf.
The most athletic thing I've ever pulled off on a golf course is not taking the stairs up to the tee box. Walking around the other side and going up the hill.
Yeah, walking up the landscape to the rocks.
Yeah. Or you have to run after your like push cart or something that's going down the hill.
So I mentioned that our questions all of a sudden got like way more classy now that we announced you're coming on. So I think, Jake, let's dive into some. We did save some that are more our speed, a couple more degenerate questions, but we will go through some fancier ones, some nicer ones.
I gotta say, like, thank you guys for having me on too. I didn't even make that clear. Like, I've seen your guys' stuff. I've seen your thumbnails, your videos, and I've been in the YouTube space for a little bit now, and I know when I see somebody that, you know, understands the space, understands thumbnails and how to structure a video, and you guys are doing great. And that's kind of why I wanted to come on here. And I think you guys are going to be super successful.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah. We appreciate you coming on too. I know we didn't say that on the top, but we appreciate it. Yeah.
And this kind of like, we've never aired this out, but like, this started by, you know, Jake's been doing our thumbnails, been kind of switching things up, doing a great job at it too. And you had commented on one of our YouTube videos about like how kind of professional this looks. And it's like, it's a great video for YouTube. So we're like, all right, well, let's just shoot our shot and see if we can get Grant on the podcast. And it kind of like, it all worked together just from one comment. So that's kind of a good testament to you, Grant, is that like, hey, you can make someone's day, you can make someone's week, month, or year just by throwing one good comment on somebody's video. And that goes for anybody too. So I love seeing the positivity and especially someone of your caliber doing that for someone like us, and then being able to make this happen is really awesome.
What he's basically saying in a long way is thanks for not calling us hacks.
Yeah. No, I mean, you can be hacks and you can still make great content. And that's just at the end of the day, people want to be entertained as well. So you guys are doing great on the content side as well.
I'm going to steal that for our tagline. You can still be hacks and make great content. That's going to go on the wall somewhere.
Well, and like kind of how we got, just a quick recap of how we got here. Tyler and I are both, we're college athletes, right? We've been out of college for a few years now. And it's like, we need something to be competitive at now. And that's like, golf just happens to come into your lives a few years after college. It's like, well, I don't have this sport anymore, but what sport can I play without having to have a team put together and all that kind of stuff? So it's like, I feel like the golf world is now growing into something where it doesn't matter what handicap you are. If you're a scratch golfer or a 30 handicap, anybody can play it. And that's the beautiful thing about it.
It is nuts. I mean, as everyone knows, since COVID hit,
terrible timing for a cough.
Yeah, I just was actually very sick, so I just get over that. Yeah, it was ironic timing on that one. But since it hit, like the whole golf world has just skyrocketed. And my best friend Henry, he owns a golf course. He owns actually like 2 golf courses in Florida. And like before COVID, you know, I remember they were doing well, but nothing like when it hit.
Yeah.
And then it just started to boom. Everything started to boom. People were getting into golf. It became cool. Because I remember growing up, it was like if you played golf, you were, you know, oh man, the names you were called.
Yeah, you're kind of lame, right?
Like, what'd you say?
You're kind of lame, right? To put it like,
you're on the golf team.
Yeah.
Like, and like, especially, you know, middle school and and early years of high school. Like that's a weird phase in life.
Yeah.
And yeah, oh man, I remember like not being proud to walk around with my golf clothes on. I was like, I felt out of place. I just remember everything, growing up, and now it's just like shifted.
Yep.
And it's like so cool to play golf, I feel like, and everyone's getting into it. And this goes for like all like the celebrities out there, the professional athletes, like they're all getting into it as well.
Mhm.
Yep.
Like watching the match with non-golfer like athletes, like with the Steph Currys of the world. I think that's been some of the most entertaining golf on TV that we've seen in a while.
Oh, and I mean, it's more relatable too to a lot of
Mhm.
people. And like, I think the PGA Tour is great, and like I love watching high quality golf, but
Mhm.
there's also a huge like audience for people that are going out there and not shooting 20 under, and it's more relatable.
Yeah.
It makes me feel better about my game when someone's shanking it off the tee too.
Yeah.
Speaking of shanks, Jake, read off some questions for us.
All right. So first from the listener Q&A, from Mark Manuel, we have, do you ever get mad? Because you're always smiling, even when you lip out.
Yeah, now I remember my dad, right when I got into golf, he said like, if I ever slam a club or break a club, like, he'll take me right off the course. And that kind of just stuck with me throughout my, my whole junior golf
Yeah.
career and into college, 4 years of college, and then now playing on camera. I really like, I do get frustrated, I gotta say. I'm not gonna be on camera, cussing and throwing things, but I do get really frustrated when I'm in the car and I'm driving and I'm like, the video's not going well,
Yeah.
or I'm playing horrible, and it is frustrating. Like at the end of the day, you're trying to make a good video and you're trying to play well, and if you're not, it's just you're human and you get a little
Right.
frustrated.
Well, yeah, especially when dad throws that line out. It's like if dad says something like that, then that shit's getting serious.
Oh, and I mean, my dad's a PGA pro, and
Yeah.
it's like reflecting on him too.
Mhm.
Like I realize that now, if I were throwing clubs and getting all mad, it wouldn't look good on his,
Right.
his side.
Yeah, and you mentioned the getting frustrated while shooting. I swear that every maybe 4 out of 5 videos we'll shoot, and all of a sudden I forget how to play golf. And there's a camera on me, and I just forget how to play golf, and I can't hit a shot to save my life. And that just makes me even more frustrated. That it's like, oh, now I can't perform, and I also can't perform on camera.
Yep.
Right. And one of the best things I feel like playing college golf and competitive golf, that's when you learn the most about your swing. Because when it's like, you can't redo it, you don't get you never get, any other shots. It's serious. It's, that's when it's like you find out so much about your golf swing, and your miss. You have to figure out your miss, and you learn more about like the actual swing itself. And that's being able to like know the golf swing and the fundamentals. I can make changes sometimes on the course, and I feel like that goes for anyone out there. It's really crucial to learn the golf swing.
Well, yeah, and it's not like you can roll up to like a college tournament or like an amateur tournament and like buy mulligans at the clubhouse. You can't
Right.
redo a shot in a situation like that. That's actually a good question. Do you Grant? How many do you ever allow yourself a mulligan, or maybe just like a mental health shot? Like you just grab another ball, re-hit it, don't play that ball, but just to get back into a rhythm, like hit another shot twice.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a funny thing with YouTube golf too. Like, you're only seen when the camera's recording.
Yeah.
But I can honestly say, like, we never ever redo shots.
Yeah.
Because that would kill the whole competitive feeling.
Yep.
If you were to do that, you can't fake competition. And if you were to take an extra shot or redo something, right there, you've killed the entire competition feel.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just, I mean, the people we're having on the channel, like I just played against the US amateur champion the other day. Like, you just cannot redo a shot while you're playing a match against him. He's gonna be like, what are you doing? Like it just would not work. But yes, like if I am out there hacking it and I feel like I'm playing awful, after I hit my real shot,
Yeah.
I may throw one down and be like, come on, we got to figure this out.
Yep.
Hit it. And then, go from there.
Ryan's notorious for doing that 3 to 4 to maybe 5 times.
Hey, I just need a quick range session from like 150 out.
You know, we got groups behind us barking, and Ryan's like, I need one more.
Yeah, I'm the biggest one more guy that you'll find. It's never one more. It's like 8 more. So
Yeah. Grant, it's funny that you talk about like fundamentals and all that stuff and keeping in your own head, because our next question is, how do I get out of my own head on a 5-footer? That's from father_figure.
How do I get out of my head on a 5-footer? Well, I mean, right now I am in my head on a 5-footer. I have not made many putts in the last like 5 rounds I've played. And yeah, I don't know the best advice for that one, because to me, putting is all confidence.
Yep.
And I've seen people with horrible putting strokes, but they are so confident. They get up there and they drill those 5-footers. It's the people that putt with any degree of doubt that are the ones that just truly don't convert those 5-footers.
Yeah, my grandpa's putting stroke is just all wrists.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
Old timer.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Gary, like the old guys used to really break the wrists a lot and like chop straight down on it. But they made them, man.
Yeah, and I know I'm in no position to be giving advice here, but I have advice to give for maybe even for you, Grant. Anytime I'm in a putting funk, because that's one of the only things that I think I'm consistent at, is I'm pretty decent at putting
Sure,
for my skill level. If I'm in a funk, I won't line my ball up. I won't look at it. I just go up to my ball and I hit it just all off of feel. And 9 times out of 10, that gets at, maybe I'm not sinking every one of those 5-footers, but I get out of my funk that way.
Yeah.
That always helps me.
Yeah. And that's, the line on the ball, that's something I've always used, but sometimes I'll like look down at the line on the ball and it looks like it's 5 feet off.
I know,
I think I'm losing it
Yes.
mentally. Like I think I've lost my mind, but I still somehow hit the putt and I know it's the right line, but right now, especially when I'm putting with like zero confidence, it looks horrible, the line. But when I'm putting good, it starts to look straighter.
Yeah. Well, then like, when it looks that far off, then you start second guessing yourself and then you're for sure missing that putt. There's no question about it.
Yeah. But back to, for sure. And back to like not lining up the line. I think that's actually a great thing to do if you're really off, because then it just it kind of frees you up when you're not trying to line up that line on the ball to your putter. You can just get up there and kind of hit it and kind of feel the break in your feet.
Love it.
Yeah.
I like that. So this one requires a touch of setup here. We've talked about on this podcast before that there are strictly 4 types of guys in the golf group chat. There's the guy who plans everything out, the guy who can never make it, the guy who can always make it, and then the guy who backs out last minute. Which one of those 4 people are you from Nick Sticks Golf?
I feel like I'm the one that like sets it up.
Okay, respect
planner.
that. That's a part-time job.
I would say like I'm the planner. I usually take the initiative to get the course set up and get everyone together. And I'm like that with, all my best friends.
Yep.
Like when we plan a trip, whether it's like a ski trip or a golf trip, like I'm the one usually setting up the Airbnb and taking the initiative on that. So I would say the planner for sure.
So you're the golf dad.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember helping out all my friends on the range. Like we'd all be playing golf and I'd be going down the line looking at each of their swings. So I enjoy it though. I really do love looking at swings.
How much advice do you give mid-round? Because one of my golf pet peeves, Ryan doesn't do it anymore, but he used to do it to me all the time. When I first started golfing, he was always giving me advice and it just made me in my head so much more. So I went with a strict no advice mid-round clause with Ryan.
Yeah. So I personally will not give anyone advice unless they ask me.
Okay.
I don't walk up to people and be like, change this or fix this. I can see it. But until they turn around and say, can you look at this? Can you help me? I will not go out of my way to help someone with their swing.
Sure.
And I mean, that goes for like anyone I'm playing with, because I know the feeling that you're feeling. It's like you're trying your best out there, and now you have this guy, trying to critique your swing.
And I have I do not need to be giving advice. I'll just say that right now.
Yeah. And I mean, everyone, it's so funny. I mean, you can go to a range and you'll see everyone helping each other out, and they know nothing about the swing.
Yeah.
Like, telling each other to keep their head down and do all this. And I'm like, you listen to it, and it's just a funny thing. So I won't go out of my way, or not go out of my way, but I will never just help someone unless they ask for it.
Sure. Now, is your dad kind of the same way? Because I'm assuming your dad is probably knows your swing better than anybody. Is he kind of the same way, like just kind of waiting for you to ask him for advice on something?
He's different. Now my dad is different.
Sure.
My dad will walk up to somebody on the range and be like, man, you need some help. Here's my card.
Yeah.
Like my dad's he's more bold when it comes to that.
Yep.
And that's why I feel like I'm the complete opposite, because I've watched my dad just walk up to people, which they love it. Like they never don't like his advice.
Yep.
Because he knows so much, but he's more of the type that he talks to everybody too.
Yep.
He's very like outgoing, talking to everyone. And I'm more, when I go to the range, I'm just kind of doing my thing. I like to focus and just practice.
My grandpa loves giving me advice. Even if I'm dialed in and beating him, he is like, hey, maybe you should do this with your feet. Maybe change your grip a little bit here. And I think now that it might be a scare tactic, because it bugs me. Sure. And so he's doing it to make sure I don't beat him.
Right.
Love it.
That's too funny.
From Jeff Conklin, we have, what's your most embarrassing moment on the golf course?
Oh, man. Embarrassing moment.
I got mine.
Oh, my most embarrassing moment. Let me think here. That one I would have to think about, but
I'll go. I'll give you
sure. No, I mean, the most embarrassing moments I feel like I've had are in tournaments when you get up to go tap in like a 2-footer and you don't take your time and you just miss it, and it lips out. It's like a 1-footer. You get up you're flamingoing it off of 1 foot. And you just lip it out. And it's like the most embarrassing thing, because you work so hard on that hole, especially when it's in a tournament.
Yeah.
You got to tap in for par. You get up there. You don't go through your routine.
Mm-hmm.
You miss it. I mean, there's nothing to me that feels worse than that.
Oh, I got one that's worse.
I think I can top yours, Tyler. Go ahead.
So
Let's hear it.
I was playing in a scramble with some buddies, and it's 18th hole, right in front of the clubhouse. Everybody's out on the patio eating and drinking, and there's water right in front of the 18th green. And our shot is right on the other side of the water, so we got maybe a 60-yard shot up to the green, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first 3 guys go, none of them hit the green. It is all on me, all the pressure, and I blade it into the clubhouse. It bounces off the window and is rolling through the feet of the people out there trying to eat their lunch. And I'm just sitting here apologizing to everybody, waving like, yeah, it was me. I'm sorry. Like, and it was just I had to go walk up and grab my ball from this guy who had it, because it ended up next to his feet. And
that is the walk of shame. Dude, that is awful.
The cheeks were just bright red. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, guys.
Did you play it where it lied?
No, we took someone else's shot. Thank God.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Tyler, so Grant, what I'm about to say.
This
was
what
an
yours
entire
is.
like 4 to 5 months of like podcast content for us. So I was actually playing in my first match play tournament. And we get through qualifying. We qualify for the actual match play. And then for some odd reason, I don't know if I slept bad the night before, but I got the shanks probably as bad as someone can get them in tournament golf. Now we're on, I think it's tee box number 6, which is a drivable par 4. And like I put the driver in the bag. I'm like, I'm almost putting every club in the bag just to find one that works. And the parking lot is off to my right. And I shanked 3 in a row into the parking lot off of the tee
at a tournament with a crowd and the guy I'm playing against. And like, I felt bad for the guy I'm playing against, because it's like, hey, I'm sorry I can't like give you a competitive match today. But at the same time,
I almost just wanted to put like a bed sheet over top of me and have no one see me because it was that embarrassing.
Yeah, and the hardest shot in golf, I will say, is after a shank.
Oh my
Because
God, man.
after you shank a shot, 90% of the time you're going to hit it dead left because you're going to close the face down and pull it. I watch it happen all the time. After someone shanks it, they get up there, they hook it 30 yards left. And it's shanks. I mean, yeah, shanks are the worst, man. And I know the feeling. I never shanked a ball on camera or in a college event for like 5 years straight. No,
Okay.
let me rephrase that. So all 4 years of college, I never shanked a shot. I got into the YouTube space. I went like a year without shanking one, or like 6 months.
Yep.
And I finally shanked one. And I remember getting up over the next shot after a shank, and you feel like it's almost like you're hopeless.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
like, what did I just do? Like, I missed the club thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Dude, I was on vacation with my wife down in South Carolina, and we were playing a course down there. And this was probably one of the lowest moments. Now, this is I think it was like February or March. So I hadn't golfed outside for a while. I had been to the simulator to try and figure things out because the shanks led right into winter. And I shit you not, I maybe slept for like a half hour before our round the next day because I was so worried about being able to hit the ball straight on this beautiful vacation at this nice course and not screwing everything up for myself. It was like probably one of the lowest of lows I've had in golf in the last like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
That is, not being able to sleep, man. That's tough.
I was watching The Patriot. Luckily, The Patriot, I think it's like a 3-hour movie. I watched that until like 2 a.m. and then I just sat there with my eyes open.
I was caddy.
Yeah, no, I remember not being able to sleep before like a tournament.
Yeah.
Any other tournaments, because you're thinking about the first tee. For me, at least.
Yep.
I'm getting up there and I'm like thinking of the first hole that I'm gonna have to tee off on, and if there's OB and how that, when they announce your name, everyone's watching. I remember getting so worked up over the first tee.
Right. He's got a legitimate excuse, though. That is a tournament. You were playing a casual round with your wife.
I know.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's how far up my head I was.
I was caddying for him in that tournament, and literally all I could say is like, I don't know. Do you need a drink? Like, what's going on here?
Loosen up, my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So I got one more viewer submitted question. It is from JC Kennedy. Says, was there an aha moment in your swing that instantly made you start shooting better?
No, I've gone through, 500 different swing thoughts, and my swing is completely transformed over the years. So many different, positions and impact positions and downswings, and I've finally gotten to a point where I feel it's somewhat repeatable, and that's taken me personally almost 9-10 years to get to a point where I now feel very repeatable. And before that, I mean, all throughout college, I did not feel repeatable. Never did. And we were doing 3-day tournaments.
Yep.
54 holes. Never once in a tournament did I get there and I was like, man, my swing is so repeatable, because I knew I had a big miss. But since I would say the last 6 to 8 months is the best I've hit my driver in my life. There's a couple of videos where I hit like all 14 fairways, and I was just really consistent, and I finally feel repeatable.
Yeah, there's been times, Grant, where I've been watching you on YouTube and I'll just look away from my computer screen, just like shake my head when it's the high baby draw right down the middle. It's like, oh my God, dude, I want that bad.
Dude, I'll tell you, like, that did not happen. That took me 10 years personally. It could take someone else 1 year.
Yeah.
But for me, with my body and my athletic ability, it's taken me 10 years. So
okay, so what are Grant Horvat's swing thoughts when you step up to the ball?
Man, that's a tough one, because every day it changes.
Sure. Okay.
And I'm crazy when it comes to that, because when you study the swing, you just start to think about so many different little things.
Yep.
And it would be hard to say that I have one swing thought, but I really did feel one thing when I was swinging good, and I remember it was like I was feeling my right knee kind of straighten in the backswing, and like really feel a stretch in my right leg. And what that did is it would make me load my weight properly into my right side. And from there, I would like spring off of it and jump. But before that, I felt like I was not even loading into my right side. And so you have nothing to push off of. And when I was really loading my right leg good, I felt like the sequence of my swing was better. Everything became a little better.
Sure. Yeah. So it's a little more of a mental cue versus like, all right, well, don't slice this ball 20 yards to the right. Otherwise you're going in the water at that point. Your mind is done for.
Yeah. That's one thing I've learned. If you have a caddy and he's like, don't hit it there, you need to get rid of that caddy.
Yeah, that's where you're hitting it.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing you can tell someone when you get over the shot and you're like, don't hit it, over to the left or don't go left. Because you're mentally, you're going to go left. I mean, after he says that.
Yeah, it's like great mental warfare if you're playing match play against a buddy, to like, caddy for him a little bit, tell him where not to hit it, because then you start getting their head. Yep.
Oh, that's like one of the best things you can do if you're a friend and they've never seen the course. You're like, water's right here. Do not do this.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Love it.
So we got some questions for you ourselves. Ryan and I debate quite a bit on this podcast, and we were hoping you could help settle some of the debates. The first one is, do you ever take gimmies? You're good? You're giving people gimmies?
In what way do you mean like gimmies? Are you talking about like on the channel?
No, just in general. When you're playing with your buddies for a casual round, are you giving them gimmies?
Are you giving them the 2 or 3 footer?
Yeah, for sure. If we're playing, for money, I think that 2 or 3 footer looks a little longer.
Yeah.
But if we're just out there, goofing around, I'll give them, a 2 or 3 footer. But if it's serious, no, we putt everything out.
Okay. So let me paint the picture for you, right? Ryan's about 2 feet out. I give him a gimme. I say, that's good, man. Pick it up. And then he putts it anyway and misses. Does that putt count?
No, I mean, you already gave it to him.
Damn. Thank you, dude. Thank you.
He's just taking my gift and ignoring it.
Yeah, and I've done that a lot. I've taken a lot of people's gifts, and I've done the exact same thing. Like, I'll get over there and try and scrape in the 2 footer and miss it. And then I feel bad that they gave it to me. But sometimes you just want to see it go in. You want to hear that sound.
Thank you. And it's like,
but it doesn't go in, so it doesn't count.
It's true.
But also, like if your buddy's really paying attention, he's not going to give you that 2 to 3 footer next time.
Yeah,
so it's almost one and done type of deal.
I'm not giving you anything ever again.
Yeah. No, and you also know the people you're dealing with too. I feel like, and if you know someone's clutch and they're going to make all those short putts, you're more likely to give them, that 2 or 3 footer. But
so let me
for me, I don't think anyone should give me a 2 or 3 footer. I just don't.
Yeah.
So let me bounce off that scenario. Ryan, if I don't give him the putt, he gets insulted because I think he can't make it.
Yeah, and there's
what do you bash my confidence?
That's the thing with match play or just playing with your buddies. There's like an unspoken language when it comes to gimmies. There's like that. You can set the tone. You can set the tone if you're very generous that day and you're giving him a 2 or 3 footer. It's kind of expected in return.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just like that unspoken thing.
So the move is, if there's somebody better than you at putting, start giving them everything so they'll give you the same distance that you can't make it from.
I mean, you can't count on it, but that's a good strategy.
Yeah, gentleman's game. You can expect it back, hopefully. Well, Grant, thank you for settling that debate because this has been going on for way too long. So we got that answer. Now, all right, what's your favorite golf side game to play if you play any on the course with your buddies? Like, I don't know if you've ever played 3-putt poker or Vegas or Wolf or any of these side games versus just the skins or match play. If you do play any, what's your favorite?
Yeah, I've played Wolf. I've played, isn't there one called like 9 points or
I've heard of it.
Something.
Yep.
Is that for every if you're with 3 people, it adds up to 9 total.
Yep.
I played that one the other day with the guys from Busted Jack. That was super fun. Um, you know, mostly when I'm out there playing, we just do, front, back, overall, the
Mhm.
Okay.
Nassau, and 10, 10, 10. We don't. I'm not out there also playing for tons of money
Yeah.
Mhm.
because I don't want to. I feel like when you get too much money, you start to ruin friendships. And,
Yeah, for sure.
and yeah, it's just not. It's not something that we get too serious about. But I would say front, back, overall is what we do most of the time.
Which is a classic.
Yeah.
We play a whole bunch of them because it evens the playing field. Like with our golf group, we have such a disparity in the talent level of all the golfers. So we'll play games like 3-putt poker, which doesn't matter how many strokes it takes for you to get to the green. It just matters how well you putt. So you could have your 36 handicap pal take 8 strokes to get to the green, but if he 2-putts, he's looking great,
Yep.
So that's all based on putting, you're saying?
Yep.
So
What? I've never heard of that. That's awesome.
yes, essentially you're making a poker hand. If you 1-putt, you get a card to add to your hand. If you 2-putt, nothing. And if you 3-putt, you add $1 to the pot. And at the end, the best poker hand wins all the money.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we play that one quite a bit, but we're big on the golf games. But I guess leads us to our next question. You've been playing not necessarily games, but you've played with all sorts of different creators, celebrities, athletes. Do you have like a list of your favorite moments or your favorite time shooting with any of these people?
Yeah, I've been so lucky to be able to film with so many cool people, and I'll say I enjoy filming with almost all the people I film with. Like meeting Pulisic the other day, he was super nice.
Yep.
Bryson's awesome. My favorite guy, the best golf I ever play is when I'm with Bob from Bob Does Sports.
Sure.
Anytime I teed up with them, like I have the best day I probably could ever have.
Yeah.
And there's just something about it with, the laughter. They're always making me laugh. And yeah, they're so fun to play with. I mean, I truly enjoy everyone I play with. I want to say I have a favorite.
Do you have a favorite moment though? Yeah, you don't have to say a favorite person.
Favorite moment just on camera?
Yeah.
I would say the 3 chip-ins in the Good Major.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was electric.
That was the coolest thing I've personally experienced. I've been there, for Matt's hole-in-one and all that. That was amazing as well. Garrett's albatross.
Yep.
That was crazy. But I would say my personal favorite moment on camera were the 3 chip-ins, because since those 3 chip-ins, I think I maybe chipped in once.
Well, you used all your chipping luck that one day.
Yeah, and I still have that wedge somewhere. I need to hang that up. I'm gonna hang that up on the wall.
That needs to go in a glass box.
Yeah, they're like, I just never, because it was funny because in the UK I was using a rental set, so those were not my clubs.
Okay.
That whole time we were in the UK, our clubs never made it, so I was using rental clubs from Mizuno, and whoever set I was using, I loved them. I felt so dialed that whole week, and that wedge, I don't know if I'll ever do that again.
So
as long as I live, I don't ever see me chipping in 3 times.
So what's the conversation at the end of that? You're like, hey, can I buy this wedge, please?
So Rick Shields knew the guy that gave me the set, and he called them up and he had the wedge, I believe. He had the wedge shipped to my house.
That's cool.
Because he was like, you have to keep that. You have to hang that up. That's got to go up on the wall. And I have it somewhere, and I'm getting ready when we move. I'm going to hang it up.
I love that. Okay. So what is your stance on that, Grant? If you borrow somebody a club of yours, and let's just say they hit a hole-in-one, are you letting them keep that club?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, in my case, I'm very lucky. We got some sponsors, some club sponsors.
Yeah.
I would 100% give them the club. I think, I've never even had a hole-in-one, so if they made a hole in one with that club, I would let them hang it up.
Sure. I love
They're
that.
keeping
See,
it.
that's another one of our debates. Ryan doesn't know if he'd give it up. You take my whole bag if you hit a hole in one with it. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure. And using that that whole set in the UK, like I wanted his whole bag after that.
Yeah.
I really did. I was like, there's something. And it was crazy because my divots were so thick and they were just perfect that entire week. And I'm like, how are these clubs bottoming out so well? They're like perfectly fit for me. I don't know. It's maybe it's a mental thing.
I mean, man, especially when you have rental clubs in the UK, like you're playing at these beautiful courses. First thing you want is like, God, I wish I could just play with my own clubs. But for that to happen and you to have rental clubs that you are absolutely dialed with is like, that makes the experience that much better.
They weren't rental clubs. They were someone's clubs on the Mizuno staff, like the team.
Mm.
So they were like customized to him. And I still don't know who it is. So it's someone in the UK from the Mizuno team.
So he's probably
and it was like the driver felt amazing too. It wasn't just like the irons. Everything felt perfect.
It's like the white buffalo of clubs, the one that got away.
I know. And I still think about them clubs to this day.
I love that.
You're going to be standing at the altar on your wedding day and those clubs are going to be in the back and you're just going to be like, oh, I miss you.
Yeah.
I know the guy, he still probably has those clubs right now. And I'd pay a lot for them.
Yeah.
If you're watching this video, whoever owns these clubs, reach out to Grant, please.
Yeah, I would. I might have to hit him up on that.
So we got one more debate we need you to settle. Obviously, we are big on taking a breakfast ball. It is the name of our page. If you take a breakfast ball, you shank your first shot off the tee, and then you hole in one on the next shot, what are you putting down on your scorecard?
Ooh, that one's tough because I'm a huge fan of the breakfast ball.
Thank you.
And the breakfast ball for me is really dependent on the warm-up session.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get to the range? Were you able to hit balls before? Yep. Does the course have a range? If the course does not have a range, you for sure are getting a breakfast ball. And I think that's very fair for anyone. You come straight out of the car, you're tight, you deserve a breakfast ball. Yeah, I mean, that one's tough. Wow. Yeah, because I've had some good rounds where I took a breakfast ball off the first tee and I felt like I couldn't even count it. I don't know why.
Because
it truly is not legal to take a breakfast ball if you're counting your regulation score. But man, that one's a tough one. That is a really tough answer. I mean, I don't know what I would say on that.
So my position, I say that all scores, you got to be inclusive to all scores. Because if I got a birdie off my breakfast ball, I'm writing that birdie down.
For sure.
So if we take away the hole in one off the breakfast ball, we got to take away breakfast balls in general.
Right.
I think it more so weighs on you as a person. Like, can you claim that hole in one when you know that you already hit one off the tee?
You imagine how much sleep Ryan would lose in that situation. He lost sleep over the shanks.
That kind of goes back to like, if you're on a par 3 course and you make a hole in one, does that count?
Correct,
and I've had,
yes.
So I dunked it on a par 3 course from like 48 yards. It was in Florida, but I never counted it. But some people do. Some people do count the hole in ones on par 3 courses.
See, that's another one that's in the middle for me too. It is a hole in one, but like, you have to, every time you tell somebody like, yeah, I got a hole in one, you have to clarify, but it was on a par 3.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's where it gets so sticky. Cause I say I don't have any hole in ones, but I tell people I have a double eagle, which I made like 4 or 5 years ago. And I found out like a double eagle is a lot more rare than a hole in one on a par 3. So that's the one that I kind of like brag about whenever I get the chance. I'm like, I had a 2 on a par 5.
That's awesome. I love that. Okay. One more question for you, Grant. We kind of just want to finish off the interview and ask you what's in store for Grant Horvat going forward.
Yeah, because we obviously opening it up to the listener Q&A. We got a billion good questions, but we want to focus on the future. and what is next for you and where you're going and what your trajectory looks like from here on out.
Yeah. I was just recently on another podcast and they asked the same question, what's coming up. And I have something amazing coming up in January that will be announced, and super lucky to have this opportunity. And with that is going to come collabs that are nuts. And I don't want to give it away right now.
For sure, yeah.
You can give it away if you want.
It really does get me going. And I just think, I just could not be more excited for that. That's coming out in January. But the future of the channel and the future of my, direction is I can't wait to keep doing more collabs. And I love filming. We just recently filmed with the Bryan Bros.
Yep.
Me and Micah. And that was awesome. That was the first time I got to spend time around Wesley and George. And they were two of the nicest guys. Wesley was hilarious. And George is like the most humble guy I've met.
Yeah.
And yeah, just traveling and going to different places, collabing and playing with different people. That's kind of the future, and playing against pros.
That's awesome, man. No, we're super excited for you. We're just grateful that we were able to get you on the podcast and just kind of be able to BS with you about golf a little bit. And based off that answer, we're going to see probably the best Grant Horvat going forward that we've seen so far. So we're excited about it. We've been tuning into the content for a while now, and we're excited for you to kind of start this new adventure and see where it goes. I mean, it sounds like 2023 is going to be huge for you, Grant. Not only do you have a big announcement in January, you're recently engaged. You'll be getting married soon. That's super exciting. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
We're super excited to see what the future has in store for you. We're hoping if we're ever in the Florida area, we can get you for 18 holes and play a 2v1, do something like that. Cause there's a lot of other questions too on the Q&A that were like, do you guys think you could beat Grant 2v1?
Well, my answer is I don't think we could, but we'll never find out.
Yeah.
No, anytime, guys. I would, like I said, when I see someone's content that I believe in and I see you guys you got the blueprint down, I would love to come and help you guys and, share some stuff with you.
Hell yeah. Well, we appreciate it, man. And if you need any advice on golfing while married, we're both married. So just hit us up whenever you need. We'll tell you all the tricks and secrets to get out on the course on the weekends. So
yeah, she actually films like all my videos, Sadie. So
that's sweet.
She's out there grinding with me. She's the best. And I actually have another videographer now that comes along and gets all the second angles.
Yep.
But yeah, for me also, like I want to say moving forward, upping the quality of the content.
Yep.
Is another big thing that everyone's always striving to do. And that's another huge thing for me is just getting the production value as high as possible.
Cool. I like that.
But thank you guys so much for having me on. And I think you guys got it. Going.
Thanks, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on. We'll talk soon. We'll get on the course and we'll see if the two of us can beat the one of you.
For sure, man. I'll be in Jupiter anytime you're there.
All right.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you, Grant.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
All right. We'll see you.
Peace. So what didn't you all understand?
Most of the time when he was talking about loading all the weight on his feet and like where he's putting it in parts of his swing, and like, bud, I am so focused on just hitting the fucking ball forward.
Because it's all about the weight distribution. Like you're loading your back leg, and when he says one of his mental cues is to like stiffen his back leg, it means he's getting it loaded up, and then he's transitioning the backside to the front side in the swing.
Yeah, I understand that. Like you're using your hips and you need to use your weight effectively, and that's why little guys can bomb the ball, right? And not that Grant's a little guy, but all of the intricacies of it are things that I have never even once considered thinking about in my swing thoughts.
Okay, so will you consider thinking about that?
I gotta get that other shit down first.
Yeah.
Can I ask you real quick, what goes through your head during a swing thought?
Mostly tempo stuff.
Okay,
Because
the weight distribution's a great tempo thing.
Yeah, but isn't that more for your power?
Kind of, but it's also a good mental cue.
I'm thinking mostly tempo because 99% of my fuck ups are because when I'm rushing a shot.
Yep.
Or I'm so deliberately taking it slow that I'm fucking up and chunking it.
Isn't that funny when you're in the simulator and you're like really trying to over exaggerate, slowing things down, and how much that screws with your head?
Yep.
Because in my mind, I almost want to finish my swing as fast as I can to eliminate the amount of shit that goes wrong. And the slower I go, the more shit that happens.
Yeah.
But it also gets me in a lot of trouble.
Right. Well, there'll be times too where I'm in my head like, all right, take it slow. Take it slow. Don't need to crush it. Don't need to crush it. And then I absolutely just swing out of my fucking ass. It's like, what were you doing? We just talked about this, Tyler. Figure it out.
You and the head, you and the voice inside your head are not on the same page.
Yeah, there are moments, and then there are days where it's like, I think I get better the drunker I am.
Because you're thinking
Because
less.
I don't think, period.
Now, when you have the shanks, you can't combat that with, I personally don't think you can combat that with booze.
You don't know. You never tried.
That is true.
No, I have.
When you
didn't
had the shanks,
I have.
You didn't try getting hammered.
Not at the tournament, no.
Right.
But I think rounds after that, I did try.
I tried to get you, and you wouldn't.
But you and I only golf together once a week. I'm golfing more than once a week.
I tried to get you hammered, Ryan, and you wouldn't do it.
I don't know. But you do make a good point. I mean, if you're very forgetful, the more beers you have, go for it.
Just be an athlete. That was my college football coach my college linebackers coach. Anytime he didn't have an answer or he just didn't want to deal with my dumbass question, or anyone for that matter, he just said, be an athlete.
Is
your
coach Mike McDaniels?
He's like, Coach, what in this situation here, like what should my footwork be? Should I take a step outside before I'm cutting in and whatever, we're running, doing different stunts, right? Like, what should my footwork be? Where should my progression be on the quarterback? And on if I'm reading the line first, who's my sign? And he'd be like, just be an athlete. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just be an athlete.
I mean, it is good advice if you can understand the aspect of just being an athlete.
Right. Well, that's where it comes into golf. The more you think about it, the harder I fuck up.
Well, that's why I think just athletes in general they already have a leg up on the competition. They're already athletes. If you can be athletic and have a little bit of mechanics, I don't think you're going to have a huge issue. Yeah. Now, starting from scratch, that's a different story. But no, I enjoyed the interview with Grant. It was super cool to just get to sit down and talk with him, talk golf, because I can't always talk to Tyler about golf like we just did. So it's nice to pick the brain of someone who's been in the sport for a long, long time.
10 years.
10 years.
So what, you guys only got, quick math, 8 years
Six
left.
Six more, we're going to be as good as him.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Coming for you, Grant.
By the time I'm 35, I should be like a low single-digit handicap.
Okay. Yeah. Just shave off a stroke a year.
Yeah. That's a good goal.
It's actually not a bad
Is that
goal.
my New Year's resolution right there?
If you shave one stroke a year off for the next 6 years, single digits. That's doable.
Yeah, in 18 years, I'll be scratch.
How old will you be in 18 years? 46?
I don't know. What's 28 plus 18?
46.
Yeah. There you
Damn.
go.
Well, at least you didn't peak in high school,
That's
Tyler.
still
I think you're going to peak at 46 years old.
I think mid 40s is the golden age.
Really?
Yeah.
You're already old, though. You're old for 28.
That is true.
Physically, you're way older than I am.
I think you are going to be surprised at how much of a joy I'm going to be at 48.
But I have no question you'll be a joy of a human. But a joy athletically, I don't know.
I think I'll be I think I won't peak till I'm like 45.
But then there's the John Daly thing. It's like, fuck, it just brings me right back. Like,
No.
do you need to be, is he an athlete? I mean, who knows? I don't know. I don't think he is.
If you know anything about me, if you've ever been in a locker room with me, you know that I have zero body hair. So it means I haven't hit puberty yet.
I don't have any body hair either.
My peak is coming. And yeah, puberty's going to hit us fucking like a truck. We're going to be absolute animals.
Absolute Griswolds.
Yeah, I can't wait for my balls to drop in here. How deep my voice gets then.
We're going to pitch you up on the podcast, Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Tyler, this is the last episode for 2022.
Sayonara, suckers.
We're gonna
Happy New Year.
I think next week we'll talk. Are you gonna be here next week?
Nope. I will be in Green Bay.
Yeah, same.
Okay, well,
Skull, baby.
Next week's podcast, I think we should talk about some 2023, the Michael Jordan year resolutions.
Yeah.
And see if we can live up to them by the end of the year.
Okay.
So, thanks again for Grant hopping on the podcast. We had a great time with it. We're gonna try and bring you some more guests in the wintertime, just because it gets stale for us. We can't get out on the course in golf. So we'll see what we have on next, and appreciate you guys watching. Safe, happy New Year. Go watch the Vikes beat the Pack. We'll be there 50-yard line, maybe.
Actually, we're corner end zone. I was misinformed.
Doesn't even
Still
matter.
good tickets though.
Does not matter.
All right, guys. Love you all. Have a safe and happy New Year.
Love you guys.
Peace.
They piped that the wrong way.
I'll call the clubhouse. We'll book another 18 for tomorrow.
Okay, they cheated on that. They fluffed their balls.
Yeah, no better time for the breakfast ball than now.